Good morning, Arshad sir. Good morning, Imam sir. Good morning, Lakshmi sir. Good morning, Shrikant sir.
Good morning.
I think Arshad sir, there was a technical issue. He is joining back.
Ada saya Pak. Nih. Apa? yang hadir.
Good morning, Professor.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, all the delegates. Oh, today Mr. Srikanth is there. It's wonderful.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
that's nice. So good to have you.
We are just waiting. Sir joined in the morning. Arshad sir, the first speaker, sir.
Acha,
Then his voice was not audible, so I think he is joining back again.
technical issues. Right. So many friends from Indonesia.
Yes.
For all of them. Oh, Salamat Siang. That is the thing they taught me.
Yeah.
Salamat Siang, Professor.
Good morning, Lakshmi sir.
Hi, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Nice.
Even Pasodi sir is joined today, sir.
Oh, good.
Pasodi sir is joined today.
Oh, nice.
Arshad sir. Yes. Very good morning to all of you. We are here for the day 6 of the conference, and we are here pleased that today it will be UAE and Indonesia's speaker will be here with us. So we welcome wholeheartedly from Seshadipram Educational Trust, Seshadipram First Grade College, North Bangalore Science Forum, Department of Physical Education and Sports, in association with Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, Government of Karnataka and India, jointly hosting the 8 days virtual international conference on yoga, health, fitness, and sports during COVID-19, an 8 days long program. Our joint organizers, Physical Education Foundation of India, Fit India, and Kira Bharati India, Bangalore City University, Bangalore, Karnataka Science and Technology Academy, Department of Science and Technology, Government of Karnataka, Bangalore, and Karnataka. MentorX Global, New Delhi, Hover Robotics, Hoverboats, India, and RevUp, India. Indian Institute of Science Alumni Association, Bengaluru, Research Foundation of India, New Delhi, and Mysore Vivekananda Yoga Education and Research Institution, Mysore. And we are delighted and excited to tell you all our delegates that our collaborators, National University of Ukraine on Physical Education and Sports, Ukraine, Universities Yerlanga Excellence with Morality, Surabaya, East Java, Indonesia, Ministry of Youth and Sports of the Republic of Indonesia, College of Business Administration, Dhaka, Bangladesh, IUBAT, International University of Business, Agriculture and Technology, Dhaka, Bangladesh, University Science, Malaysia, University of Sharjah, United Arab Emirates. We are very much pleased and honored that the great association of all those allied bodies, we could host and organize such a beautiful 8 days program. And we have amongst us another one of our pillars, Muhammad Arshad Subbuji, who has a great motivator, and also he has supported effortlessly, tremendously us for organizing such a wonderful program. So Muhammad Arshad Subbu, who is a doctorate PhD, and though his nationality is Indonesia, presently he is in UAE, and academic professionalism in particular, he is in psychiatric, mental health, nursing field of specialization. Academic qualification, he is a PhD in nursing from Faculty of Health Sciences, University of Ottawa, Canada, Master Science degree in Nursing, School of Nursing, Villanova University, Pennsylvania, USA, and Bachelor in Nursing, Faculty of Nursing, University, Indonesia, Jakarta. Training, Certificate in Health Professions, College of Health Sciences, Community, 2019. Education Objectives and Teaching and Learning Method Training, University of Jakarta, Indonesia. NVO Qualitative Research Data Analysis and Management, NVO QSR International, Ottawa, Canada, 2015. Particular Practical Mental Health Nurse, Paoli Memorial Hospital, Mental Hospital, Westchester, PA, USA in 2005. And Practical mental health nurse, Belmont Behavioral Health, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA, 2003. Academic awards and honors, he has got admission scholarship, University of Ottawa, Canada, 2011. Continuing educational grant, Ministry of Education, Indonesia, 2010. Continuing education grant, Health Project, World Health Organization and Ministry of Education of Indonesia, 2001. Nursing scholarship, Ministry of Health of Indonesia, 1998. And membership of professional bodies, he is into American Psychiatric Nurses Association, USA, Registered Nurse Association of Ontario, Canada, and Indonesian National Nurse Association member, and Nursing Best Practice Unit, University of Ottawa. Career details, presently he is an Assistant Professor, Psychiatry, Mental Health, Nursing Program, College of Health Sciences, University of Sharjah, United Arab Emirates. Assistant Professor, Psychiatry, Mental Health, BSN Program, College of Health Sciences, Gulf Medical University, United Arab Emirates. From 2016 to 18, Research Assistant, School of Nursing, Faculty of Health Sciences, University of Ottawa, Canada, 11 to 15. Teaching Assistant from 11 to 15 in Ottawa, Canada. Mental Health Nurse, Royal Ottawa Mental Health Center, Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, 2010 to 12. Teaching staff and mental health nursing development, Binawan Institute of Health Sciences, University Binawan Nursing Program, Jakarta, Indonesia. Departmental health, he was a departmental head, Psychiatry, Mental Health, Community Nursing in Jakarta, 2006 to 10. WHO and University of Indonesia, implementation of community mental health nursing in Simelu Island province, Indonesia. And it goes on, he has lots of research. He has, under his supervision, 7 students has completed PhD, master student 22, and postdoctoral fellows. Research interest, he has psychiatry, community, stigma and mental illness, nursing theory, qualitative researchers, and lot of publications. So his profile goes on and on, around 12 pages his profile. So if I keep on reading, we won't be able to hear him. So I am pleased and blessed to have such a wonderful and allied speaker with us. And I frankly, no doubt in telling that he could read my mind. Just over phone, he could read my mind. And whatever I felt inside, immediately, next moment, I could see the talk is coming from him. I'm blessed to have such the mental connection we could create in couple of days. We are blessed, sir. And indeed, we are enlightened to hear you today. Please, sir, over to you.
Okay, Professor Santana Das, for this event, I just came back to Indonesia 2 days ago. I'm now in Indonesia from Santana to coordinate with all of speakers here. So I came from Dubai just for 7 days ago, and then I spent 5 days for quarantine. Quarantine because government provide us, and now I'm in our organization. Basically behind me, Professor Mwayu behind me. No, beside me. Already beside me, if you see here.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, so for the purpose of this event organization, I really concerned because I see that Professor Santana Das really concerned. Thank you so much for that. And the second, I let you know, Professor, that I'm physiognomist. Yeah, physiognomist. Basically, this science was from India. To read, to understand the character, to know the people, what they want from his or her face, or from his or her conversation. Yeah, this is just a little bit information. Okay, please allow me to today.
Yes, you can share, sir.
To talk. Yes, I want to talk about sport and physical activity during COVID-19 pandemic. But the most important, I think, Professor and everyone, that psychosocial implications or effects of this pandemic on sport and physical activities. This is really important to know because everywhere in the world now, no one country without issue of this COVID-19. So I will concentrate and focus of my sharing now related to
Sir, I may request here, you have to mute because no Imam sir's speaker is on, so it is echoing. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry for, yeah. Now fine. Please speak, sir.
okay. Thank you, Professor. Okay. I don't want to explain in detail what is coronavirus. Everybody knows. What's important for me to share, to inform you that now everyone, every countries now in what is called coronaphobia. Yeah, before we have phobia of cat, agoraphobia, phobia of. Now we have new terminology in healthcare, what is called coronaphobia. Never happened before. And then this has caused universal psychosocial impacts, well, causing hysteria, mass hysteria. Everyone now suspect, doesn't believe, and sometimes we are paranoid, we are afraid of our friends. Yeah, if I meet, for example, Professor Santana just now, I'm afraid of Professor Santana now. If we meet, not afraid personal Professor Santana, but because of this coronaphobia. Yeah, especially now media, so many hoax, so many misinformation, and then sometimes untrue information came from media. This media information is spreading more than corona itself. Okay, now everyone of us know that COVID-19 impacts on all aspects of our lives: physical, psychological, social, cultural, and spiritual. Yeah, social, cultural, spiritual, maybe three, but we can put it together. Yeah. We know, I believe that in India, we have been in Chennai and spread in one mosque. Now, between one person to another person must be 2 meters, physical distancing. Yeah. Sometimes also it's called what is it called? Social distancing. When I come to Indonesia, this social distancing, I see. It is not easy, very difficult to apply, especially related to physical distancing in the area or location of country that overpopulation like Indonesia, India. I believe, yeah, it's not easy for physical distancing. Yeah, so physical, psychological, cultural, and spiritual, all of these aspects are impacted by this COVID-19. Yeah, this is just introduction. Okay, now I just go to brief explanation first. Yeah, so as I mentioned before, that COVID-19 fall behind in spreading. It run together with media. Media go in the front, and then COVID-19 behind. Media infodemic related to COVID-19, more spreading than COVID-19 itself. And this media infodemic comes to population, and the impact is psychosocial impact. Another issue is, if we see the left side, combat the outbreak, government rules and regulation, lockdown and economic depression, physical distancing and quarantine. If we go to lockdown and economic depression, then really a lot of much problem that impact on sport and physical activity themselves. Similarly, physical distancing and quarantine has massive effects on physical activity, especially sport. Yeah. I remember before Corona in Dubai, I see my family from India and from Pakistan watching together. If there is a game, cricket between Pakistan and India, Pakistan. No, never happened since Corona comes to our life. This never happened again. I hope that next time will be okay and run very well again. But now, game is not conducted, not performed in India, and also people who watch this game around the world, they don't do it again because of this government rules and regulation. This is the introduction, but the introduction to part. Okay, during the COVID-19 outbreak, the person can experience physical symptoms due to lack of information, facts, rumors of fake news, social media. Yeah, misinformation on the COVID-19 may be the most contagious things about this. Because why? This misinformation create more severe physical, psychological, and social impacts in our society. This misinformation, like me, frankly, everyone, I was positive COVID before. I was positive, but basically nothing happened. If I got flu, I have signs and symptoms. But when I have COVID-19, nothing happened. So basically, from my personal experience, I don't see that. Sorry to say, because this is personal experience, and personally, we can generate to everyone that for me personally, I don't have any signs and symptoms when I have COVID, positive COVID before. Okay, next. Sorry. Okay. Now there is also stigma. Yeah, I don't want to explain in detail about this stigma because since maybe the first time when this COVID grow up in our society or just come in our society, there is a stigma. There is stigma related to separation, labeling, and then because of this labeling, people feel shy. If they have positive COVID, then they feel shy to inform, and this problem will increase the risk of community transmission. Okay, let me see. Okay, now COVID-19 and sports. Why COVID-19 and sports? If we see on TV now, especially tonight in Indonesia, 11 o'clock tonight in Indonesia, there is a game, European Cup football, soccer. We will see that in the stadium, we will only several spectators, supporter of fans. This is because why? This impact of COVID-19 and sport. So because of that, less ticket will be sold and then less money will come. Yeah, sport is a major contributor to social and economic social development. Its role is well recognized by all governments. The challenge of COVID-19 has posed both sport and physical activities and well-being, including for marginalized and vulnerable groups, people with disability and elderly people, for example. Now, for athletes, basically, not only athletes, general population will feel now stress and worry if we talk about COVID-19. Yeah. Small example for PCR, for example. Before we take PCR, we start stress because you can imagine like this. We put in our nostril, both nostril, right side, left side. Oh, this is not good experience. Not a good experience. Yeah. This also can affect athletes who is concerned about the infection and more specific concern arising for athletes being tested. So before test stress, after stress don't stop. Doesn't stop, I mean. Stress continue. The result, positive, negative, positive, negative. Sometimes we cannot sleep just thinking about it, especially if the result will come tomorrow. And then positive, negative, stress. If positive, oh my God, I cannot attend this. I cannot join this, I cannot join this. And then my friend will away from me. They don't want to close with me. Yeah. And then some, especially in Indonesia, yeah, so government provide facilities. Everything is free. Yeah, for you, for example, if you travel from around the world, they provide like hotel, everything for free for whoever come to Indonesia. If you have positive here, especially if you have positive, they provide you facilities and everything is free, including 3 times meals. So thank you, government of Indonesia. Okay, next, potential impacts of COVID-19 on athletes. I take this picture, I don't know, from Google. Psychological stress, anxiety, stress itself, depression, post-traumatic, trauma, interruption to sport events and trainings. Yeah. This interruption to sport event and training will impact to the coach. No income. Impacts on daily routine and functioning, and social isolation and discrimination. Social isolation and discrimination, I think not really shown very clearly in sport, but in other area, in other aspects. Yeah, especially nurses who work in the hospital, they really have discrimination from our general population. Next. Yeah, common response to COVID-19, fear, this for athletes, fear, worry. Yeah, I don't want to explain in detail. I think everybody knows this. Stress, anxiety, bereavement, hopeless, boredom, loneliness, and sadness. This mostly people who are in quarantine. I have experienced before coming to my family in Indonesia. Just I left quarantine place 2 days ago. Yeah. I spent 4 days in the governmental quarantine place. Oh, hopeless, boredom, loneliness, and sadness, because we don't have contact with other people during this quarantine. 4 days, very difficult. Yeah, and then change in sleep and eating patterns, for example, insomnia. increased use of tobacco, alcohol, and other substances. Yeah. The impact of COVID-19 on sport federation and organization, government and other organizations provide sport club, business, and organization with guidance related to safety, health, and other standard of protocol that would apply to future sport events. This would allow our stakeholders to work cooperatively as a team to address the current challenge and to facilitate future sport events that are safe and enjoyable for all, for athletes, for organization, for manager, coaches, and especially for spectators or fans, everyone. Yeah, all. Okay, now sport ecosystem. The sport ecosystem comprising of producer, what is called, for example, Don King, yeah, and boxing fans. If you are boxing fans, then I believe that you know Don King, yeah, who always conduct or perform boxer in the United States, broadcasters, radio, television, fans, business owners and players, among others, need to find new and innovative solutions to mitigate the negative effects of COVID-19 on sport. I think every country, every big world organization has think about it, has talked about this. So now, for example, yeah, FIFA, International Football Federation, yeah, working together with WHO to combat, to fight with this COVID-19. This includes finding ways to engage with fans in order to ensure safe sport events in the future while maintaining the workforce, creating new operating models and venue strategies. But for me, it is not easy. During this COVID-19, a sport that maintain, that has physical context like football, karate, boxing, it's not easy because if we conduct this, we do this, it will contradict with physical and social distancing. So we have to sacrifice one. We need to break the law of social distancing, or we don't perform this physical contact sport or physical activities. Okay, the impact of COVID-19 on physical activity and social well-being. The global COVID-19 has resulted in closure of gyms, stadiums, sports, dance, fitness studios, physiotherapy centers, parks, and playgrounds. Yeah, because of this, then create problems, income, psychosocial problems. Many people are not able to actively participate in their regular individual or group sports or physical activities outside their homes. Yeah, similar to this, let me go a little bit faster. Yeah. WHO recommend 150 minutes of moderate intensity or 75 minutes of physical activity per week, every week. Yeah. The benefits of such periodic exercise are proven very helpful, especially in times of anxiety, crisis, and fear. This related to psychological problems. During pandemic, lack of access to regular sport or exercise routines may result in challenge to the immune system, physical health, including by leading to the commencement of exacerbating existing disease that have their root in sedentary lifestyle. So this is a dilemma. Have two problems. we don't have physical activity, especially outside physical activity, we don't have it, then we will have problem related to especially stretching, especially because stretching, this of these activities will provide not direct impact, but indirect impact to our stress, anxiety, fear, etc. But because of this lockdown, for example, now Jakarta in red. Jakarta now is in red zone. Everything is locked down. Every place is locked down. If we want to do sport or physical activity, we can only do it in our home. Okay, now let me continue again. Competition, to safeguard the health of athletes and other important coach, for example. Most major sport events at international, regional, and national levels have been cancelled or postponed. Marathons, football, cricket, athletics, etc. because of this COVID-19. The Olympics and Paralympics, for the first time in history of the modern games, have been postponed and then it will be held in 2021. This is on plan, but I believe, sorry, I hope that I'm wrong. We cannot conduct this either Olympics or Paralympics in 2021. Because now I hear that there is another types of COVID. COVID this, another one comes, another one comes, another one comes. If we learn from the pandemic history, for example, Spanish flu, 1800s, after 100. This flu pandemics before spent for years before what is not free, before we can handle it. I believe that's similar, my personal belief is similar to COVID-19. If we base on this, Spanish COVID, we still have more than 1 year. That means in 2022. Yeah. Next, let me go a little bit live, continue faster. With economic repercussions, the cancellation of games impact my social benefits, global, regional, sport event, also national. This situation can cement psychosocial cohesion among all aspects of life, including here sport and physical activities. Yeah, let me go faster a little bit, because now my time is over. Better if there is a question, we coping strategies. This one is important. Now, this most important for coping strategies related to psychosocial issue of coping. I believe that everyone knows what is coping strategy, adaptation, how to handle it, not fighting basically, not fighting, but how to handle it. Similar if we handle someone in prior behavior, angry, don't fight it, but handle it. Identify positive influencer and limit contact with other worries people. Worry. If possible, avoid them. Influencer meaning that give us motivation and spirit. Isolation can cause rumination, anxious thinking to escalate. Yes, isolation, especially quarantine. Maintain a sense of hope, humanity, and kindness toward others. Seek professional help if psychosocial issue is overwhelming. See professional healthcare, mental healthcare more specifically. Recognize the things you can control. PPF, personal protective equipment, we must use it. Wherever we go, like in Indonesia, wherever I go, I have to use this because Otherwise, police will catch me if I don't use it in the street. Establish social distancing. Yeah, limit attendance at large gatherings. However, this not easy. Not easy for certain countries, especially overpopulation like Indonesia, India, and other countries, Bangladesh. Not easy, but we have to try. Yeah. Don't go training, or even if you are sick, sportsman, especially practice self-care. Yeah, the panic misinformation spread by social media travel faster than the pandemic itself. I have explained before previously, so I don't want to go in deep again. Conclusion: COVID-19 impacts all aspects of our life: physical, psychological, social, cultural, and spiritual. However, this basically link one like ecosystem. Stick together, go hand by hand. Okay, during outbreak, people may be affected psychologically, as is happening during the COVID-19 crisis. It is common for individual, general population, athletes, sports, organization to feel stressed, worried, and anxious. How person respond to the crisis is influenced by individual background, the difference compared to others, and the community they live in. People who live in, they don't care, then they are more, also don't care. But if they live in the really concern related to COVID-19, and then probably he or she will also more concerned than other people. Okay, my personal recommendation, COVID-19 has had and will continue to have physical and psychological effects. As I said before, based in history of pandemic, more than 100 ago, a Spanish flu, we still have 1.5 more years to have this COVID-19. If we base on this history, pandemic history, okay? My recommendation seeks to both support and the safe reopening of sport events and tournaments following the pandemic. I really personally, because impacts all of life, especially economic problems. Maximize the benefit that sport and physical activity can bring of COVID-19 and beyond. Okay, I'm first of all, sorry because maybe my presentation not comprehensive, and then also we have time constraint. So if you have comments or concern, you can send my email. Yeah, I have University of Sharjah and my email University of Ottawa. Okay, thank you so much. Sorry for inconvenience or less information, and have a good day.
Thank you so much. I would like to now request if our participant has questions, please do put in the chat box. We request the participants, because during the speaker's talk, we usually disable the chat box so that the speaker doesn't get distracted. Please send the question. Please put the questions. If you have any queries or related to something, as sir has spoken on the psychological issues related to the COVID-19, and he is a psychosocial expert, so you are free to please ask. Sir, there is a question from Binish. When can we see the corona subside in India? Corona.
Can I answer it? Can I answer it now, Professor?
Yeah.
Okay. I see personally that what happened in India, I see in India is, I call it my personally sudden death. Meaning that one of method to control this. Sorry, what is the question? What's the when the see corona?
When we can see corona subside in India? When we'll be
Only-
free from corona?
Only God know this, Professor. Only God know, but no one can predict. We don't know. Maybe 10 years, we still have this, and maybe even worse. Because now it is easy. It is easy travel. For example, there is a new corona from Indonesia first, and then how many travel? How many flights go to India every day? Let's say 5 flights. In one flight, there are 25 passengers. So 25, 121 person comes to India, bring gifts and presents from Indonesia, including this new type of corona. So I just say that based on the history of COVID-19, not COVID, flu, Spanish, it spent 4 years before. If we, based on this, I hope personally that we will still have 1.5 more years to be pre-subside. I hope that India more than that. If possible, India 3 months later, after this day today, will be subside, will be pre-4. I mean, I'll be very happy. Yeah. So sorry, I cannot. Maybe I cannot satisfy you when nobody knows. Nobody knows. We cannot know that. Oh, India after 2 years will be free. No, we don't know. I hear that another type of corona now just found from Africa. Type Theta. The last one is Delta. I hear that Delta is from India. I just hear. And another one. So there is a, how to say it in medical terminology? There is a generation to generation. Yeah. If someone asks me what is the best way, I say that let's around the world. This is my personal. Let us, everyone in the world, open our mask. No more vaccine, no more. And then we will natural selection. For us healthy, we become healthy forever. And then, sorry to say, for not healthy, then, yeah, until now. This is just my answer. So I will say that, sorry, this is my question. I cannot answer in detail, and especially determine when it will subside. Thank you, Professor.
Okay. Due to the negative news of COVID, people are getting into stress and tension. How can we motivate and make them feel better? Negative impact, negative news.
This is Professor, really good question. The problem is not only general population, not only normal people. Now even psychologists, medical doctors also worry about. So basically, in our normal terminology, if we want to ask something, we want to ask help for someone who have it. But now everyone is stressed. But I just want to say something to all of us here, my personal recommendation. Please make close, if you're Muslim, hablu minallah to the God, hablu minallah nas to other people. I believe every religion like this, ask help to the God, yeah, and ask help to other people. Now, so many people still be concerned and help each other now, yeah. So relax, and then, yeah, maybe pray is the best way. Yes, Professor.
Sir, we would have loved more questions to ask you, but because of the time, our next speaker has we wholeheartedly thank you, and I'll post you all those questions so that we get, and then we'll be asking you so that we can answer back to our delegates. So we wholeheartedly thank you on behalf of 91-plus-year-old organization, Seshadipuram Group of Institutions, and all our esteemed collaborators and organizers, and being one of the pillar for helping us and supporting us in this cause and to host this 8 days international conference. We wholeheartedly thank you, sir, for your kind words and to believe in God and to have the positive impact towards the life so that we can all overcome. Nothing is permanent in the world, so not even our problems will be permanent. So hope with that, we thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Professor. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you. Now I request our next speaker, Suhadeo Pariyoji from Ministry of just a minute. Yes. Yes. Very good morning, sir. In fact, it is good afternoon. Good afternoon in Indonesia. So we are very much blessed that we have amongst us Suhadi Pariyoji, who is a Master of Public Policy from Sydney, Australia, and his work experience, he is into the Department of Sports and Health and Youth in Indonesia. He is a Director of Sporting Awards 2020, current Head of the Division of Organization and Partnerships, Head of the Division of Sports Coach Referee 2016, April 2018, and Head of Division of Youth Development 2014 to 16. And he is a member of Indonesia's delegate at 2010 Senior Official Meeting on Youth Vietnam, World Youth Conference Mexico, 2011 Asian Ministerial Meeting on Sports Indonesia, 2012 Asian Ministerial Meeting on Youth Brunei, Darussalam, 2013 Senior Official Meeting on Sports Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, 2014 Asian Japan Youth Exchange Program, Tokyo, Japan, 2015 Senior Official Meeting on Youth Nephew Day of Myanmar, and 2016 Senior Official Meeting on Sports Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And 2017 Intergovernmental Meeting on Anti-Doping, Hangzhou, China, and Committee and Job Experience 2010 to 15. He is the focal point on the Youth Exchange Program with other countries like Australia, Japan, Korea, India, Malaysia, 2011 Asian Youth Forum and Festival, Jakarta, Indonesia, International Youth Conference on Environment, Yogyakarta, and 2010 Asia Africa Youth Forum, Bandung, Indonesia, and International Youth Camp, Medan, Indonesia, June 2021. So this is just a brief profile, and we would like to hear from you the opportunities and the efforts and the initiatives taken by government to support the sports and Indonesia, and we would like to hear from you. Over to you, sir. Sir, you have to unmute.
Right, okay.
Yes, sir. Unmute, sir. Sorry. Unmute again. But yes, sir.
Right, okay, done. All right, okay. Thank you, Professor Santanu. Thank you, everyone. Because it is a great honor for me to be part of this forum, and I'm very glad to share with you what the Indonesian has done, and of course at the same time challenges that we face especially during the COVID-19. I also see a couple of Indonesian speaker. I saw Mr. Muhammad and also Mr. Imam, I suppose, if not mistaken. Selamat siang. Sorry, ini bahasa. Apa kabar, Pak?
Baik, Pak. Selamat siang.
Oke.
Saya dari Jakarta, Pak. Kapan-kapan ketemu.
Thank you, Pak.
Ya, lanjut.
Thank you, Prof. Let me directly continue. But before that, I apologize for all the participants because I will have other agenda soon after this meeting, after this forum. Probably I would be able to only answer and respond one question. And then I'm so sorry that I could not follow a whole event in this afternoon. Let me begin why that's the title, the theme that the committee asking me to deliver. And if we are considering of course, the populations, also considering the territorial size and geopolitics, Indonesian athletic performance at the international level and also regional level in Asia, the performance of the athletic performance in Indonesia is not as satisfying. I would then later on inform to you the data and share with you the issues and challenges that we have. In terms of territorial size and population, I think we have a similar issues with India. Not that much difference. Probably the population is quite big. This is the sport, only 3 sports that contributing to the medal during the Olympic game. So Indonesia has only 3 medals in it's not every year actually, only 2 sports that contributing almost every Olympic. The badminton, I know currently India is one of the best country of badminton in the last decade. Also the weightlifting. So weightlifting and badminton is the only 2 sport that almost contributing every game. While the archery is basically only once contributed to the medal. And it was in 1988 in Summer Olympic in Seoul. Okay, let me highlight the data that we share with you. Sorry. Okay, this is the Olympic Games performance and achievement that Indonesia has. I'll start in 1988, but actually Indonesia has been participating in the Olympic Games years before, I think 1970 something. But starting in 1988, when only once the archery got the silver medal in 1988 in Seoul. And then after that, we almost only 1 gold medal since then, until last game in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And always the badminton, it is only badminton contributing to the gold medal, not other. So weightlifting always only gave us the silver medal. And the rank, you can see as well that the rank of the Indonesia in the Olympic Games is around 42, sometimes 48, even worse. The last game was 46 among 204 countries. This is the Olympic game. And if we compare with the games at the regional level, especially the ASEAN games, I might also highlight since 1990s, for example, until ancient 2014, the ASEAN game. And our rank is also quite similar. I think it's above 10, sometimes even worse. In 2006, Doha, Qatar, our rank was in 22nd and only got 2 medals. Actually in the last game, but the game was hosted in Jakarta in Indonesia. So everybody of course noticed that there is a enormous achievement of the Indonesian games. But because Indonesia as a host, as there was a traditional sport of Indonesia who are competed during the game, which was the pencak silat, and actually this is the traditional sport of Indonesia. Of course, our medal is quite high, but I would not count this as the achievement of a performance at the regional level. Right. If I might share with you the research, and I will quote the research by Lozano, Sebastian, and others. And this is the research actually focusing on the Olympic Games. They say that sport performance at the international level, especially the Olympic Games, is usually measured regarding the level of populations and the GDP. The traditional population and GDP based theory of the Olympic success. Sorry. Back again. These two factors are recognized as the two most important economic and democratic factors. I think we need to later on to explain to you whether Indonesia is at the same analysis or not. Because everybody knows this is the population of Indonesia compared with other countries. On the left side, China is still number 1 in terms of the populations, and India, your country, is currently very close to China, and the populations, it seems that India will be the number 1 for the next couple of years. But in terms of Indonesia, we have what we call it the ASEAN countries, the Southeast Asian nations, and Indonesia is almost a half of the ASEAN populations. ASEAN consists of 10 countries, and Indonesia itself contributing nearly a half of the ASEAN population. 270 million people of the Indonesian population based on the last census conducted in 2020. For the GDP, compared with other countries, including India, China, Taiwan, Japan, and Russia, and Turkey, Indonesia is quite low. The GDP of Indonesia is $1,100 billion, the last data that we have. So this is the background, try to put the data into the analysis conducted by Lorenzo and others. My next slide, this is a new findings based on the analysis of the last Olympic game in Brazil last 2016. Luis Antonio and Martin Flagel highlighted the new findings informing that sport performance at the national level, especially for the games, Olympic Games, is influenced not only by GDP, but also by GNI, gross national income, even CPI, Corruptions Perception Index, and EAP, Economic Active Population. I would love to be able to answer your question for the following explanations by Luis Antonio and others. Improving level of corruption by 1 point and so on and so on. This is only the explanation given by the Antonio. I put it. You might be able to even analyze more detail, but I could not answer because I'm just at my background. I just try to put it as a consideration that even the CPI, Corruption Perception Index, and Economic Active Populations contributing to the achievement of the medal. Okay, and this is the data that we have for this data. Indonesian Perception Index on Corruptions 2019 and 20. From 2019, Indonesian perception corruption is down to, from the rank was in this, actually 40 is the score and the rank is the 85. So little bit down to the score becoming 37 and the rank becoming 102 between among 200, I think 180 countries. For the population, as I mentioned, Lucio highlight the EAP, Economic Active Population. Actually, the Indonesian population, the productive population is quite large. More than 70% of the Indonesian population is the productive, at the productive age. We call it the population dividend. Okay, and then this is the issues and challenge that we have. I mean, in Indonesian context, referring to the analysis and findings of the last research conducted by Luciano. Yes, the Indonesian population is quite large, 170 million people. But the issue is, the problem is the sport participations of Indonesian populations only 35%. And of course, it will contributing to many other aspects of the sport. It will contributing to the number of talented athlete. It will contributing to the healthiness, and so on and so on. And of course, sport talented athlete need more sport participation for our young generation. For the GDP or EAP, GDP and EAPs as an impact of the COVID-19, of course, slowing down. Indonesia's GDP in 2020 shrank 2.07%, and the GDP per capita fell by around 3.7% in 2020. The impact of the COVID-19 to our economy, I think across the world, worldwide, is very significant. And the government is struggling to fund our activities and program for our people. Of course, the AAP is not changed. But because many people, the productive population, lost their jobs, and then this is the issue. Another issue was the Corruption Perception Index. As I mentioned earlier, the CPI Indonesia Corruption Perception Index score 37, ranked 102 among 180 countries. So we are still facing a huge challenge for the corruptions in Indonesia. I hope that's not India, is not the case. Another issue that we have now is the impact of the COVID-19 as well. All major events were postponed or even canceled. As you might aware, probably, actually this year, Indonesia will be a host of the FIFA World Cup under 20. I suppose some of the speakers also mentioned this, that the ASEAN Paralympic Games supposed to be held in the Philippines last year, 2019, is also cancelled. We also postponing the national games. I think everybody has that stages. We have a national competition or national games. We have the regional level games like SEA Games in the Southeast Asia region. In Asia, we have ASEAN Games, and the highest, of course, we have a Paralympic game, and we have the Olympic game and Paralympic game. And we also postponing the national games from as supposed to be last year, but then we are going to have these national games this year, in the late of this year. The impact, of course, for the training and the competition, it will, of course, again, it will impact to our athlete. It will impact our athlete performance, and the Olympic game will coming soon next month. Everybody, I think we are waiting for the best result. I know that the number of participants to compete in the Tokyo Olympics reducing very huge, from 170,000 something becoming only, I think around 50,000 something. It dropped significantly. That's the impact of the COVID-19. Other issues that we have is the physical activities, because park, playground, stadiums, business center were closed, and then our public, our people to do the physical activities is also have a trouble. What we have done for last year, actually, what we have done to still encourage, to support our people to do the exercise, because the limitations of places that we are not allowed, then what we have done actually is inviting, encouraging our people based on the individual and the family base, but based on the virtual. So we were hosting and what we call it, holding the competitions, but based on the virtual. So they are sending the video or for the competitions in their own hometown or home yard, so that still we're trying to encourage our people to do the exercise. Okay. Let's spin that one. Okay, I suppose I missed this. Okay, another issues that this is the real sport development issues that we have. I don't know, is that the issues also facing by the Indian government, Indian sport or not? But this is the real issue also the Indonesian has. In most sport, development of stages has not been in place properly. If we look at the model of long-term athlete development from the Canadian government, if we look at the stages, actually there are so many things that we need to still. I mean, there are still a lot of job to be done. The developmental athlete over compete and undertrain. Lack of the talent identification system. The most knowledgeable coaches work at the elite level, while inexperienced volunteers or coach at the developmental level, where the quality coaching is essential. We miss this. Adult training and competition programs are imposed on developing athletes. Again, the issue, sports specialize too early. that's quite similar, an attempt to attract and retain participants. And the last, of course, that's quite close with this issue. Preparation is geared to winning in the short term, not long-term development. If you look at, I have been in China, for example, as a comparison. They said that usually very good coach, the gold medalist, they put and they are going to be placed as a coach at the provincial level. I mean, probably in India, you call it the state level. In Indonesia, we call it the provincial level. As well as in Germany, if I'm not mistaken, they said that the most knowledgeable coaches, they work in the grassroots, and then the best result will be beneficial for our young athlete. And this is the case of Indonesia. The number 2 is the case of Indonesia, where the most knowledgeable coaches work at the elite level. Okay, another issue is the example, for example, for the preparations to cheer the winning in the short term. And this is also the case of the Indonesians we face. It's not only for coach, sport organization, even their parents. They want his son, his daughter, when they are doing a competition, they hope they won. But this is the issue that actually is supposed not to be happen. And they need a coach who are able to overcome this issue. Right, and because we still have an opportunity. As the Lorenzo and others highlight that the opportunities for the performance of our athlete and the international level influenced by some other factors, populations, GDP, and so on, as I mentioned before. Population, yes, we have a huge population. We do have GDP steadily increased before COVID-19. We also have a quite good, the AAP populations are increasing since I think the last 2 decades. The middle income class in Indonesia, I think since 2000s increased significantly. And the projection and predictions in 2030, but again, the prediction before COVID-19, the middle income class in Indonesia will reach around 130 million people. So the COVID is really, CPI is the issue, but by having the more and more the middle income class, the corruption supposed to be reducing. Other opportunities. I think Indonesia is one of the Asia country who has a good growing economic country, among others like in China and India, of course. Indonesian economy is expected to rebound actually by more than 4 or 5% in 2021 and 22. We are waiting for this pandemic, COVID. Cost it will also contributed to sport industry. These events, spectators that we have are quite huge, especially football. Large and loyal fans, as well as football. This is the opportunity for our sport industry and our economy. Entrepreneurships and innovations is essential for our new environment, and especially during the COVID-19, we have a couple of examples that probably could be a good example how to step by step, of course, but how to enhance our economy through the social media and so on. So there are so many YouTubers come up with a very good earning. Other opportunity is the hosting international event. As your information, Indonesia will be hosting the first FIFA World Cup under 20 in, so because that's postponing, will host in 2022. But in the same year, Indonesia will also host the World Cup basketball in 2022. So I think the World Cup, but it's not the senior World Cup for football, but senior World Cup for basketball. As an Indonesian experience, actually, after hosting the Asian Games 2018 last 2 years, what we have then, one of the opportunities and advantage that we have is we have a better sport facilities. We have a very good and international standard for velodrome for our cycling. We have a very good stadiums and other facilities for our athlete, for training for our athletes. So that one of the advantage when we have finally has the international event. Other issues, of course, the economic impact, whether for our small and medium enterprise, copyright, partnership with the big players of the sport industry and so on. And lastly, I don't know, this is the Indonesia experience I will share to you. It's the government support. I may say that 70 or probably nearly 80% of the sport funding, especially in the elite and national athlete, is from the government. Only very few sport funded by by private sector or individual. So badminton, for example, probably 70 or 60 or 70%, or even probably around 70% funded from the private sector, as well as the athletic funded by one of our Indonesian rich and elite people. But others, they are depending on the government budget. From the elite or national elite until the local athlete, they are funded, supported by the government for their training, for their facilities, for their competition. So basically, the government is the main support of the sport development in Indonesia. Currently, we are finalizing what we call it the national sport policies, and also the new bill that we are. I hope both of them will be final in this year. What the difference then is that we will focus on certain sport, especially for the Olympic sport. Probably we will only focus on 5 to 10 sport, the Olympic sport. We are also designing to develop 8 to 10 centralized training center for junior across the country. As you may aware that Indonesia consists of more than 17,000 islands, but the most populous island is in Java Island. The population of Indonesian population, more than 56% of the Indonesian population centralized and concentrate in Java Island, while others, I think 6 largest islands among others. So basically, the most populated island in Indonesia is Java Island. And we are also reviewing our level of competitions, our from the junior, senior, from the national, provincial, and district level. We try to evaluate and step by step, we try to redevelop, renew what we can do for. Of course, this is the long-term project. We estimate, we assume that we will gain the benefit after 10 or 15 years. But this is the Indonesia has. What I can share with you, all the participants. And again, I'm so sorry, I will only able to respond one question. I'll get back to you, Professor. Thank you.
Yes, the best person whom I can think of is Professor Lakshmi sir, who,
Please.
if you can stop sharing screen. Yes.
Oh,
so that
sorry.
we can-
Yes, please. Wait. Okay, wait. Where are we?
Yes.
Yes, please.
So Lakshmi sir, you are the best person whom I can think of asking question to our eminent speaker, Swadi Paya Rajiv, who is from Director of Sports Awarding. And he has so nicely explained the how Indonesia looking ahead with the different kind of Olympic medalist and all. So over to you, sir.
Thanks. It's mute.
Sir, we are not able to hear you. Lakshmi sir, we are not able to hear you.
Oh, okay. Professor Siang, Professor Suyadi Pavirio, Salamat Siang, good morning. And terima kasih for a wonderful presentation. Thank you. I learned all these things. I happened to be there in Jakarta for a while. Yeah, your presentation was wonderful. In my imagination, one more beautiful thing which Indonesia has got is youth power and the volunteerism. I was very much enlightened. In fact, it was a wonderful expression by the volunteers of making
country
proud. Could you share a bit on your students' volunteerism, and the success in every event, maybe sport or any cultural event of your nation? Because we are talking about the challenges and how happy they are in serving the nation as a volunteer.
My response?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you. I could not see your name properly, Dr.
Lakshmisha.
Lakshmi.
Yeah.
Thank you. Selamat siang. You speak bahasa. Thank you. I know that one of the coordinator during the Asian Games he was actually with me before the Asian Game happened. So he works with me. The coordinator name is Aryo, and he is very good, young, talented, and smart. Well, the value actually is we do have what we call it in our word in Indonesian, what we call it gotong royong. It's basically helping others. And also these values actually the main value of, if you may know, the Indonesian ideology, what we call it Pancasila. The main value of the Indonesian ideology is gotong royong, we call it, and actually the serving others. I'm glad and thank you for your appreciations, but almost in every country, everywhere, we will find a good people and bad people. I mean, of course, also in Indonesia, we'll find somewhere where you're not, well, I think in anywhere. But if you are asking for the values, the spirit that we have, that's what we call it gotong royong. But now we are having a new generation. And this is the issue that we also have. The values that actually rooted in our population and our people, our ancestor start, I don't know where we start, but it's becoming more and more challenging. The ethic, the norm that we have in our generations, very often we could not find. We lost in our young generation, in my children, and our children. But thank you. This reminds me the challenge, another challenge that we have in Indonesia. I suppose, I hope that we don't have that challenge, the issues in India. But as far as my concerns, I've been in Australia for 3.5 years, and very often older generation complaining the value that our younger generation have. So thank you, Dr. Thank you.
Thank you, terima kasih. Thank you.
So thank you so much. As sir has already requested because of his prior commitments, so he will take only one question. So as a respect to his words, I thank him wholeheartedly. And sir, I'll be in touch with you so that we can have more collaborative works and we can improvise our youths with the respect to improvisation. And as our Lakshmi sir has also told, that the volunteering and how the people of Indonesia, they feel themselves great in spite of the adversities and all. So we'll be looking forward for your continuous support for enhancing the sports and improving the sports scenario in India as well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Santanu. Thank you, everyone. Please allow me to leave the forum. Thank you.
Terima kasih. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Terima kasih.
Yes.
Thank you. Now I request our next speaker, Professor Imam Ulioji. Professor Imam Ulio, who is a physiotherapist, and he has a wonderful track record in government of Indonesia, and he is into lots of profiles and portfolios. So I'd be very glad to introduce him to our delegates. Let me see, yes. So let me introduce our esteemed guest, Professor Imam Ulio, a health consultant and research reviewer for traditional medicine, complementary alternative medicine of the Ministry of Health of Indonesia, 2004 till date. Resource person on cognitive stimulation of Health Intelligence Center of Ministry of Health, 2018 till date. Resource person and abstracts reviewer of World Confederation for Physical Therapy, Congress 2015, Singapore. Abstracts reviewer of WCPT Congress 2017, Johannesburg, South Africa. Abstracts reviewer of WCPT Congress 2019, Switzerland, and abstracts reviewer of WCPT Congress 2021, Dubai. Until now, only one from Indonesia. He's into many journal reviewer and editors activities, and he is editor, chief editor, Journal of Physiotherapy and Complementary, Journal of Emergency and Trauma Care, Journal of Yoga and Physiotherapy, Journal of Orthopedics and Sports, International Journal of Physiotherapy and Cancer Rehabilitation, and award International Agency for Standards and Ratings, Imam Ulio from Indonesia, and World Academic Championship 2017 in Health Informatics for outstanding scientific contribution and research and publication since working in NIHRD in 1990. More than 25 studies with multiple funding sources, national and internationally, of these as a principal investigator, who is funded and supported by World Health Organization, World Bank, and Asian Development Bank International Vaccine. Publication into so many papers. It's like nearly 21 international high reputed journals. So let us hear more from him. Such an eminent speaker he is. So over to you, sir. We welcome you wholeheartedly on behalf of all the national and international forums to enlighten us, sir.
Good afternoon, Professor Santanu Das. Please help me to share our PPT.
Yes, you can share,
you.
sir.
Okay.
You can share.
Okay, before the PPT share rise up, so we introduce the point of the idea. Physiotherapy on Olympic preparation, the concept, idea, and practice in Indonesia. It means that we have physiotherapy in Indonesia and also work with injury from the sport, injury and the general injury and so on. But if we see the special sport physiotherapy or a specialization, not only injury and illness have differentiation, but also in physiotherapy service for athletes receiving during the Olympic Games are also an important factor protect athlete health. This mean. So sorry, can help me to share the PPT?
Yes, sir. You are enabled. So if you go down to share screen, green
Okay.
button is there, sir. Next to no chat, you could see and reactions.
Okay.
You have to click there, share screen, and then select.
Okay. So.
Can you see, sir? There is one share screen button.
Yes, but better from your side, Professor Santanu Das.
Okay, one sec, sir. One sec.
To share PPT, yeah. Sorry.
Yes, sir. One sec, sir.
Okay. If you got one PPT from me,
Yeah,
please.
I have received. I'm opening that one.
Okay.
Just 2 minutes, sir.
Yes, okay. I wait. While you share my PPT, so we continue to introduce the idea.
Yeah.
Okay. For those idea that international physiotherapy competencies is already known since 2000 for the specialization in the world, especially in Europe, US. It's a more physiotherapy specialization progress by the education and expert. So it's please, yes. The second PPT, please. Yes. So the next PPT. The next PPT. Yes. Sport physiotherapy is very recognized as a specialist in the international pediatric sport physiotherapy, and especially in the Europe, there are many business of sport is growing up, and since that 2000, the recognized of subgroup of World Confederation for Physical Therapy is new sport physiotherapy. This means serving athlete all age and ability through excellent in education, research, practice, and clinical specialization. The intention of the International Federation of Sport Physiotherapy is to be an international resources for sport physiotherapists, to promote sport physiotherapists through the International Olympic Committee, International Federation, and other professional organizations. Okay, the next slide. The next slide, yes. Framework of the sport physiotherapy standard is an idea, is a concept. So that's why I introduce the framework first. The standard is mean describe component of the process, functional knowledge in subjected to critique, a synthesis of the knowledge as used to inform appropriate information collection. Findings are interpreted with scientific knowledge to inform the clinical reasoning process. As a result, the most appropriate and evident intervention is selected, implemented, evaluated, and modified as required. The standards are structured to reflect the process in relation to each of the 11 competencies. So, slide. Yes, this process is, yes, I mentioned before. There are foundation, critique, information collection, information processing, action, intervention, evaluation, and the important is specific national standard, because not every country, each country will same standard is very difficult to do. That's why there's specific national standard. Let's say Pak Suryadi, Mr. Suryadi is already state that a specific games like a badminton and also pencak silat is one specific national standard which the other country is not have the standard. Okay, the next slide is slide is the competencies related to different professional role that specific special is sport physiotherapy, building on the European physiotherapy benchmark statement. What's kind of the benchmark is a demonstrate effective behavior that integrated knowledge, skill, attitude, and the specific professional role and context. It mean context. Every sport is a special issue in there. Okay, slide. Now we coming to the element of competency according to European region of World Confederation Physiotherapy. There are 7 competencies. First, as an innovator, professional leader, and professional leader, its definition is promotion of professional excellence and recognition. And the other professional leader advisor, influencing and advising to the relation as professional issues. Innovator advisor is the definition influencing advising in the relation development and best practice. And the final is advisor, a definition of professional guidance. But you know, the physiotherapist is known as a manager of the patient. There are activity definition is active directly to the management of clinic. It means how to handle the patient, athlete who have injury or other problem. It is mean, but the 7 element in Indonesia is not clear yet or recognized by the all related component of the sport. So please slide the other slide. Okay. Yes.
This one?
And yes. Yes. Next slide, please.
This one.
The next slide. Yes. Yes. Sport physiotherapy are involved the day-to-day management their client, involving continuum of behavior. There are 4 competencies. 2 is injury prevention, acute intervention, rehabilitation, and performance enhancement. So in Indonesia, we know more injury prevention and acute intervention and rehabilitation, but not contextual with performance enhancement. So the other slide. So back the slide, please. The competencies of standard physiotherapy, we look again that the competencies as described, competencies 11 area of competency, 7 competency, and we must benchmark with the other country which already state the physiotherapy specialization in sport is already run well. Like European countries, there are many sport physiotherapy already done in there. So Indonesia, by the process, we must benchmark. How to do benchmark? So we go to the slide, the next slide. Yes, the next slide. That's benchmark. There are stakeholders from outer professional regulator, employer, many sport company in Europe. There are many, and that's why they need special needed for the physiotherapists in sport. Okay. The other is the organization and also the university, which preparation the sport physiotherapy specialization. So it is mean benchmark, and the result of benchmark is statement and description of the professional sport physiotherapy. What kind of competencies, how to measurable the standard, and the last is develop and audit. Is the standard is reliable, valid, so we develop and audit. And that's why we need educational program or continuing professional development with considering learning outcome, contact, and level. Let's say Indonesia physiotherapy in general is 3 years program and 4 years program, and the last one is a professional physiotherapy is a 5 years program. So every level need a special aspect of the sport physiotherapy, but the specialization of physiotherapy in sport, it's more better in the up after bachelor of physiotherapy. So it maybe take 6 month or 3-month program. So it is to take a professional or sport physiotherapy in Indonesia. Because until now, so next slide, please. Until now, we just read the rehabilitation following the injury. The main role or the most role physiotherapy in Indonesia, because the physiotherapists, sport physiotherapists who contribute to the instance of the athlete's performance by evaluating their physical performance related profile, advising the intervention of optimized condition for the maximal performance in the specific sport within the multidisciplinary team approach, and contextual with the condition and the level of the athlete and competition of the athlete, where is the national or regional, let's say Asian Games, we need a special context, but still in the multidisciplinary context. Next slide, please. For those, we need or we can see the behavior. The behavior from the collection information from other by other kind of how to collect the information and how to other related with the functional physical function, movement, and also all that information, it is analyzed in one aspect to be influence factor to potential to safety, ethnicity, and so on. Okay, and the slide, please. Okay, that's why after we know the standard competency as a concept and idea, and there are area component and indicator, there are 7 element standard. So we go to standardization and certification. So in Indonesia, we need from the practice, there are services of physiotherapy only in the acute intervention and rehabilitation, and we have to who benchmark the international competency like European regional of physiotherapy sport. And the last one with the issue that many in Indonesia very less physiotherapists who have expert or certified in this sport. That's why we need support from the government together with the education to develop physiotherapy sport with a standard benchmarking standard with the European. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, this mean we talk with the certification and standard. So we already mentioned the competency and the standard that the ability required of the professional are further defined as competencies and standard, because we have to measure or measurable, so that why need a standard. So this is just a statement I took from the Bologna, that the Bologna statement is ensure the European have to right to work in the any member of the state. That why they have a standardization. If somebody or some physiotherapists from the Netherlands will work in Germany, so it is the same level, the same standard competency, and the same skill in the sport. Okay, this mean standard. How to do the standardization and certification? We go to the slide. Next slide. Develop and recognizes competency. It is developing standard. The first, define performance requirement by industry. So it is mean like the slide before that mentioned the benchmark from the organization, industry, and professional group. The second is establishing benchmark for learning, assessment, recognition of education and training. So we must to go to the established university who have a program specialization in sport. And last but not least, establishing regulatory or licensing requirement. The Ministry of Youth and Sport in Indonesia not have a regulation for physiotherapists who will work in the sport area. That way we need a regulatory. And the second aspect is the minimum requirement for go to the sport physiotherapy professional. And the next is how to maintaining the competency of person professional. Support achievement business goal strategy with organization development. It is mean how to develop a competency. And the next slide, please. The step of development of competency standard, interpreting competency area requirement and research. So that way, this is just rewrite from the schematic in the slide before, was a mapping competencies, research, and so on. And this last slide is the conclusion of all we discuss the concept idea of sport physiotherapy on the preparing the Olympic, who in Indonesia is need progress development together with the government, educational organization, and professional. Maybe last year before COVID, we have a meeting with Australian Physiotherapy Association to develop short training regarding the sport physiotherapy, 1 week training by the sport physiotherapy from Australia. Maybe from the other country, we will need together work together and collaboration how to develop physiotherapy sport specialization in Indonesia. I think it is just idea, and so we not state all the aspect as a comprehensive presentation, but I think depend on time. So we of you already attention, and here our presentation, and also Professor Santanu Das, who already invite me as a speaker. Thank you, all of you. Back to you, Professor Santanu Das. Yeah, I already presentation, Professor Das. And
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was
yes.
trying to reach James at the next speaker. So,
Okay. Yes. Professor James, yeah. But I don't see in the listing.
Yesterday also, no, we had communicated. So may I request if James sir is. So by the time I reconnect with James sir, I request the participants, if you have any questions, please do post it into the chat box. And by the time I'll check out, because no, yesterday also we communicated with James sir, but let me see what's the, let me try out. So sorry for the inconvenience. So participants, please do put in the chat box if you have any queries or questions. And I request Lakshmi sir to kindly little bit help us in that chat box questions if you are free, so that by the time I can communicate with James sir. Okay, we thank Imam Ulio sir for his wide, elaborate talk on the physiotherapy and the efforts taken and in the traditional way, how he has been and into the different kinds of journals and all he has been working into. And if our Lakshmi sir has any queries and anything else, you can ask sir. By the time I can check out with the James sir, or else no, because we don't know what is the scenario. From morning we had been trying. Maybe he is. I hope so. Everything is fine with him. So let us see what best we can do. So Lakshmi sir, over to you.
Yes, Professor Shantanu, I am here. Professor Imam Ole, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Selamat siang.
Selamat siang. Yes.
It's a nice presentation. It's a one thing I wish to ask you. You have got a lot of islands, a lot of athletes all around. How are you managing, coordinating their rehabilitation and recovery aspects? What type of network you have got across the islands? Because every island is contributing a bigger way to the national and international performance. How many centers do you have across Indonesia islands, and how the network is working? Is there any mobile experts moving around, or there are stations which you have made in all the islands? Please.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Professor Laksmi Misa.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, selamat siang. The Indonesian is many islands and also different culture. That's why we have a rehabilitation. Because if you say the rehabilitation in general, so we have a referral hospital in every big city like Surabaya, Makassar, Ujung Pandang, and also in Jayapura. It is referral rehabilitation center for the patient in general, not on sport problem. Because in the sport problem, we just only one referral in Jakarta. In the Jepubur, there are special hospital for the sport. Only one.
Only one. Oh.
So we tried to develop physical therapy specialization in sport to encourage the physiotherapists in the island to be learn to be practiced as a physiotherapy sport.
Okay.
So it's better to make referral sport injury and also to develop performance, because in Indonesia physiotherapy just only a rehabilitation aspect doing this in the sport, but not just like referral benchmarking and Europe. In Europe, physiotherapists hold the what is an elite athlete, but Indonesia we just in general. This is a difference develop of the view of the sport science to physiotherapy and the physiotherapy to the sport. So the interaction of the sport science and physiotherapy, I think, have to work together, able work as a team. I think so.
Oh, good. Great.
Okay.
Great. Nice to hear. Good.
Okay.
Good, Professor. How many specialized physiotherapists are working in Indonesia? What is the number of physiotherapists you have got qualified?
Yeah, we have almost 4 dozen physiotherapy work in Indonesia, and the specialization not yet clear. Just only always just training 1 or 2 weeks as a training in the musculoskeletal, training in sport injury, and just like this. Not yet special program like in India. There are, I have a collaboration with a university in India, which have already master program in sport, master program in neurology.
Right.
And I mean, I think as long I know that there are 4 kind of specialization in the master program in India.
India. Yep.
In Australia also like this, but Indonesia we don't have any program specialization like those. Okay, it's probably
It's upcoming. The day is not
okay.
far. We are working on it, and wish you all the best in the forthcoming Olympic Games. Your young athletes are, they are prepared very well. Tokyo
Okay.
Olympics. Wishing you all the
Yes.
best. And
Okay, thank you, Francis.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih, Laksmi. Bisa.
Over to Professor Santanu.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We had been trying, but we are not hope he is fine, and we pray that everything is going fine.
All right.
So even Mohammed Arshad sir is also trying.
Right.
Let us have a 5 minutes
break.
Let it, and then we'll think of what to be done.
Oh, good.
Yes, Professor, I'm now in Jakarta, Indonesia.
Okay.
It is unusual that I always contact him. I was contacted and always and a quick response. Now I have contacted by phone, by everything, and then no response. So we hope that nothing happened. Everything is okay with him, Professor.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, we pray and wish everything is fine, and let God bless him so that
Thank you, Professor.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. So I thank all of you for your kind patience and this weekend. And I thank Imam sir, we thank Muhammad Arshad sir, and we thank our Suyadu Pairo sir for making this event a fruitful one. And as just a couple of 5 minutes for the delegates, we'll be sending you the feedback in the Zoom as well as YouTube. Stay, and tomorrow as usual by 10 o'clock we can join, and tomorrow it will be full of adventure. It will be aero, it will be mountaineering, it will be skiing, and you will be meeting the India's first woman who has skied from Antarctica to South Pole, 900 kilometers. So it will be excellent. Tomorrow it is full of adventure. Being Sunday, let adventure. And yesterday we had a little glimpse of adventure sports. So I am sure that tomorrow we'll going to rock. And tomorrow, if I am not wrong, it's from Shri Manjunath MR, advisor to General Thimaiya National Academy of Adventure, Department of Youth Empowerment and Sports. Then he will be speaking about aqua sports. Then we have adventure sports mountaineering from Rina Kaushal Dharmastu. She is DOSD and from Government of Uttarakhand. And then we have Vinay Sirsi, instructor and program supervisor for aero sports. Then we have Kirti Payas, vice president, and he is also into mountaineering. So they will make us understand how other than this normal, what we call the competition and sports. Nowadays, this adventure sports, even yesterday, Gurpreet sir was telling that even this has come into, sport has come into the competition arena, and he has been participating. So usually we go for Goa or somewhere else, and then we can see, okay, paragliding, skiing and surfing. But it will be thrilling to see tomorrow that our passion or our interest can be into a career and opportunity where all those elite speakers will be speaking to us. And today, if I am not wrong, it is a no drug abuse. So World Anti-Drugs Day. So I wish everyone that stop drug abuse, International Drug Against Day against drug abuse and illicit trafficking. So there is nothing shortcut to be taken up for either the life or for anything else. We should be very humble, very sublime, and very down to earth without getting involved into all those, because ups and downs are there in the life. But we must understand those things will ruin the life of any individual and family. We should understand we have come here, God has sent us an ambassador, and we being the ambassador, we should make sure that we are not into spoiling someone's career, someone's life, and our dependents. So we should be very judicious, and we should take a promise that no to drugs, no to illicit trafficking, and on this day of international drug abuse. With that, I think we can sign out with permission from Lakshmi sir. And just I request the participant for just another 5 minutes. I am sending you the feedback form. So thank you one and all. Tomorrow we will have a super Sunday and we'll be rocking. Thank you, sir. Jai Hind, thank you. So I request participant please not to leave the group. I am sharing within 2 minutes. So thank you all. God bless everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy. Take care, sir. Priyanshu Sonkarji, please do see, we have already shared the mail, share the feedback link. We appreciate for your kind patience. Priyanshu Sonkarji. Dr. Nirmala Chauhan, madam. Nirmala Chaube, madam. Chaube Mishra ji, please see, we have already shared. Dr. Sangeeta K. Feedback link is already shared. Please kindly see the chat box. Please see the chat box. We are not sharing with anyone's in WhatsApp other than YouTube and Zoom chat box. Hope all the participants, when you are messaging, you are not receiving, I think, the same chat box. You can check out for the feedback link. Umesh ji, please check out. Go up. Baswaraj sir, please see. Pati already shared in the chat box. Go up, you check out. If you have joined right now, you can't get. It is the third time I'm sharing in the chat box. We must appreciate because of the technical and the network, the weather, it may take little time. You please check out your network connectivity. Already it's been shared. And thank you for your kind patience. And we are extremely sorry because of that last technical session couldn't happen because of certain unavoidable circumstances. And inconvenience is highly regretted. Tomorrow we'll meet at sharp 10, and we ensure that tomorrow will be a very engaging and fruitful day with adventure sports. Thank you one and all. I request as you have sent the feedback, so you can leave for the day. And tomorrow again at 10 o'clock we'll be joining. Thank you one and all. Good day. Take care.